first, Deb, thank you so much for extending us access to Truffleduck for the launch of the 2020 HR Index survey findings. We were here last year, just in a very different format.
It's lovely to have you here, Maree. Thanks for thinking of us.
You're welcome. Now, from the outside, Truffleduck was quick to pivot and present offerings, even though your core business, which is wedding and events, hit a roadblock in COVID. How was it for you?
Oh, I'll never forget March 16th with crying brides on the other end of the phone when it all just hit. Grand Prix had been cancelled. We literally had 2 functions ready to go. And
I've got goosebumps. That was exactly the turning point, Grand Prix weekend.
It was, and it just, so then we had, goodness me, we had all this stock, and we had 20 weddings booked, and in the next 6 weeks. Like, it was just crazy. And the mental stress of dealing with people whose weddings, I mean, everybody was upset and anxious, but brides and grooms, wow. So anyway, so all of a sudden it had to be, what are we going to do? We've got this food, we can't waste it. So our first initiative was to the duck out meals, and everyone was a little bit scared to go out. So that launched pretty much instantaneously without not a lot of thought, and just flew out the door. So that's what we did.
So
that was the beginning.
It was repurposing your stock from cancellations that got you going.
Well, we really couldn't afford cost-wise, because we just lost our income. That you got to a point where this time of the year you're doing really well, and you're just going to do the cream, hopefully, for the rest of the financial year, and it's all taken away from you. And it was just...
How many staff did have to go?
We only literally casuals that didn't qualify for the JobKeeper in the end. So we've actually had 25 throughout this whole time, 11 full-timers, and actually all 11 of them retained all of their full-time apart from 6 weeks at the end of August to September. And that was when Melbourne locked down again, and that's when we really had to just reassess. But they were just job enabled for that period. And then our casuals, we had all the rest of the casuals. So that was why the Duck In Cafe actually sprang up, because we had these casuals, but we couldn't do events. So you could use them to clean and do all those sorts of things, but wasn't bringing in any income. So little Duck In Cafe came about and started, one morning we just started it with the Finesford residents on the Facebook page, and I think the first day we took, maybe it was $150. Well, now we just smile and look back and think, wow, how it's grown. And the nice part is we've been able to use the garden, and so many people are just delighted to come and sit in our garden. And if we've helped people feel good about themselves in this period, so that's sort of been one of the things that Truffleduck could give back to the community in this time. We actually created the Truffleduck team Facebook, and we just regularly have kept them. They are still part of the team. Like, they are being updated.
Whether they're here with you working today or not.
They are being updated every week on what's going on, and so they really still feel part of the team.
Has that been key to the engagement,
for sure.
Communication channel?
Absolutely. And we all remember back when we didn't know what was happening, where the JobKeeper was happening, how was it going to happen. Everybody was so uptight. So Hugh was on it all the time, just literally just keeping everybody calm, and just every time there was an update, well, actually he got the information from me, but that's okay. And then he'd just pop it all out, so we kept them totally updated.
Fantastic.
I mean, the sorts of things we've done for them is we've actually given them, all of our staff have all had vouchers for Duck Out Cafe, just so that they could then actually be spoiled as well. So they were all, that's only little things, but when the business is really struggling to make ends meet, and you're watching every dollar, it was just really important. And I think that little unexpected bonus for them. They have been, honestly, the staff have been so important to us, and that's why we've really worked hard to keep them. At times it would have been easier, would have been much better off if we'd stood down or job enabled, but they're the key to our business. They're absolutely the key, and that's why we have our brand is great staff. I think they're not going to love so much going back to the 2 a.m. finishes. I think we're all a little bit. This is going to be.
Well, that's
tough.
a late night. I'm used to 10 p.m.
No, we're used to 7 p.m. home. So, but anyway, that's we will all get back to it.
Now the pivot. You mentioned some of the innovations that you progressed with. The weekly takeaway menu, the Duck-In Cafe. Are those innovations going to remain? Are you going to keep with those? Some going to be, no, that was just pandemic specific?
We've become everything to everybody right now, and that's the scary part because, I'm just so fortunate. We've had Geelong have been amazing. I think the brands remain really strong, and we've been able to open the brand and our food up to a lot of people who normally don't have access to it. So can you imagine what's happening now with everybody ringing saying, so Christmas, and you'll do this and you'll do this. And
the expectation is high.
Oh, it is. And we're unfortunately to the point where, because the events have come back,
you can't be both.
I can't be both, and it's going to be really sad, and we're just still strategically working out which way to go. We're hoping the cafe, we can keep it till the end of January. And we're even thinking maybe we might turn part of it into a takeaway coffee window, part of the front of the house. Like, we've still got lots of ideas.
And the benefit of hindsight, you're in that position now of thinking, oh, we didn't expect this. So the return is coming almost as suddenly as the pandemic hit.
I just keep saying to everyone now, Maree, can I have my last 6 months again? So the 3 plans I did, I don't do
You
again.
didn't factor the scenario we're in?
No, I had honestly, I can sit here and say we were now planning to February, March. We genuinely did not believe. We thought we'd be having Christmas parties maybe for 10 to 20, maybe. And to have had this so quickly come, I believe is what's thrown us. So I just want a little bit of time to just now go, right, because we're looking like we'll have to close our books as of next week. That's
for the season.
For up to the end, to Christmas. And we will do some takeout Christmas things. We're definitely going to do the seafood platters, the hams, and that will be the way in which we can basically reward everybody for thanking us. We will do that. That'll be the one thing that we will do.
Your standard format allowed for other developments.
It did. We actually changed our whole booking system. So that obviously took quite a lot of work and a lot of admin. So that was almost... we were always quite lucky in that respect that it allowed us to do that. So, we worked our way through that, and because we had to create platforms for the web to be doing the ordering, so there's sort of been quite a lot that has gone on in the background, which that has been valuable to us.
And can you talk about some other opportunities that came your way?
Yeah, we're pretty excited.
And during the crisis?
So we had been in discussions with Cotton On since October last year. They have built a new cafe, and it's called the Beckley, and it's, of course, Cotton On at full capacity.
The Cotton On
at
office.
Headquarters.
Yep.
So at full capacity, there are 1,000 people. So we were very excited about having that partnership develop. So that was all wonderful. It just didn't quite finish as quickly as it was supposed to. We were supposed to be in 1st of Feb, got pushed back to 1st of March, and then we decided we're definitely going in after Easter. Well, of course, what happened? It just all fell over.
Not many people would have been at the office or at the cafe.
No, but we have now moved in, so we activated that in June. So we've been there now for, 3 months now. That's fabulous, and so we're really loving that opportunity. And so that's been great for the business.
And are the workers back in the office?
They are just starting to come back now. We've seen an increase, but they've really had to work from home because it's been the direction, and Cotton On have enforced that. And then one also came out of the blue back in just late July. So to be able to have Tarinda Estate call and say, are we interested in partnering with their events, that was just what we really needed, because strategically that means now that we've got some key venues for our weddings, and the one that we always asked for, a winery with a water view. and now we have it. And so that's also, even though we won't have that many, I think we've already got 10 in January, February down there. So it's certainly just consolidated the brand, which has been a sort of when you're reflecting and thinking, gee, it's been tough. We do believe once we get started again, we will be. You can see I've got my fingers crossed here. But provided there's no third wave or whatever, we may, this, what we call the end of the season, February, March, April, may in fact be okay.
It's going to be great to see you doing what you do so well, pleasing brides, pleasing event managers, and bringing through the Truffle Duck experience. We really look forward to seeing you out and about doing what you do so well.
We don't want Zoom meetings anymore.
No way. Done.
We want meetings back here at Truffle Duck.
Exactly. Thanks so much, Deb, for sharing.
Pleasure.